we manage a lot of data, but it's only as good as how you interpret it. And we've developed a number of metrics and ways of analyzing data that can hopefully provide you with insights that you've never seen before. So the research is split into two parts. And the first is what we call markets. And that's the kind of stuff you'll see on Smartkarma. So we're analyzing the positions of hundreds of active long-only managers. We look at global active funds, GEM active funds, Asia ex-Japan, and dedicated China. We look at sentiment and conviction levels across countries, sectors, industries, stocks. We look at manager activity. We look at well-owned stocks, underweight stocks. We look for momentum levels. So it's a really thorough analysis of where market participants are positioned. And the second part of the research brings all that data and analysis together and brings it back to a single fund. So one of the funds that resides in our universe. And from there, we take that fund out. We focus on how that fund is positioned versus its active peer group. So what makes that fund stand out? What stocks do they own that others don't? What are the stocks that they don't own that are well held by peers? So effectively, what positions are going to be the key in helping them outperform their peers in the months and years ahead? And so from that analysis, a fund's active position versus its peers can be very different from its position versus the benchmark. And to outperform peers, it really pays to know where they're positioned. So for a long-only fund that resides in our research, it's about incorporating this positioning data into their research process. So this can be for idea generation. It can assist with the timing of entry and exit of a stock position by understanding where levels of ownership are versus history and analyzing the changes in momentum for a particular stock or industry or a sector. We can also see very clearly where your consensus and out of consensus positions are versus your active peer group. So not just your benchmark positioning, but your positioning versus your peers. And also as part of the research package for long-onlys, we provide data to marketing teams that really helps identify the USP of the fund. And so for investment banks, it's really about understanding your clients better, getting to know their holdings, what they used to own, what they might have interest in. And really for all investors, our research provides a unique look at the convictions of key players in the market. We look at long-term historical trends, short-term manager activity. We analyze new areas of the market, such as frontiers or China A shares. And so really it's about helping with idea generation, market timing, understanding the cycles of sentiment within your market. So any investor with an interest in global EM, Asia, Japan, or China would have an interest in our equity research. So a big portion of our client base are the long-only managers in our analysis, but we also serve trading desks and teams at investment banks, and our offering is suitable for any style of investor with a focus in those regions, from hedge funds to family offices to individuals. So we focus on two things really, and the first is the granularity of the data. So a lot of competitor offerings show data on the aggregate level without necessarily producing or providing any underlying data that belies that. And so for every aggregation that we do, it's built up from a single stock position in a single fund on a single day. And we're very transparent about that. We show that in our analysis. So for example, if you hear of fund flows moving into Russia, we will be able to see which stocks, which sectors have seen those inflows, which have seen outflows. It very rarely happens in one direction. So we give you the complete picture, and that's throughout the whole GEM or global universe, whichever market we're looking at. And secondly, really what differentiates us is the style and the methodology of our research. And we see it as we manage a lot of data, but it's only as good as how you interpret it. And we've developed a number of metrics and ways of analyzing data that can hopefully provide you with insights that you've never seen before. And so we view the market in quite an original way. We spend time looking at what funds are not holding as much as we look at what they are holding. And you can't kind of get that information from fund holdings database. You can't see what a fund isn't holding. It's not as easy. So I guess in summary, the granularity of our data and the style and methodology of what we do is what makes us stand out. So with Copley Fund Research, you really get to fully understand positioning in your market. You get to understand the convictions and the sentiment among large groups of smart and well-informed investors. And so we see it as a really invaluable addition to your investment toolkit. So from a publisher perspective, it's a really usable interface and the most usable one out there. So publish on there is a real pleasure. It's really easy to drag and drop and to copy and paste and to make your research really stand out. But the real advantage for me is that you get all the views in one place. And even for me being a researcher, to be able to pair what I see on the positioning side with the fundamental piece from one of the researchers on Smartkarma, it's been really invaluable. And we've had a number of occurrences where that's worked very successfully.